Hello everybody, welcome into Madden 22, and we are going to predict the Super Bowl, which is being played later today. So happy Super Sunday to you for those of you who celebrate. If you're not celebrating, I don't know why you're watching this video. But hey, maybe you like football, maybe you like me, and you want to stare at my beautiful face for however long this video is. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more content like this, be sure to scroll down, subscribe, and ring that bell. We got a special one-off what if. We get another what if coming up next week. It's going to be Super Bowl 56, but it's going to follow the previous video that posted last Sunday. And in that game, we asked a simple question: what if the Bills had won the coin toss? Right? We assumed that the Bills win the coin toss in the AFC divisional against Kansas City. They drive down the field, they score a touchdown, they get the walk-off touchdown. The NFL pulls its head out of its ass, fixes the freaking overtime rules, so they're not terrible. But the point is, Bills win, they go on, they play Cincinnati in the AFC Championship. The Bills won that game, so we're going to see what would happen if the Bills and the Rams played each other. So that'll be next Sunday, the 20th of February. So tune in for that, subscribe, ring that bell, do all that good stuff. Lots of other content going up throughout the week. We have random rosters in NFL Fever 2002. Let's see. Wednesdays we have Bus Simulator. Mondays, Life is Strange happening, I think. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But yeah. Let's jump on in here. We're gonna go play now. We're gonna do the same format that we did last week. Now, I know that it's going to show the Rams. Oh, look, Sean. Look at how easy it is. You just go over here. You pick Super Bowl 56. Here's the problem. This game is really stupid. It starts with only 6-minute quarters, and it makes you pick a team. I don't want that. We just want to watch. So we're going to go over here into custom game. This is a little bit of a tutorial if you want to do something similar in the future, because it's kind of a pain, honestly. Cincinnati is actually, I guess, going to be the home team, even though I believe they're wearing their all-white jerseys. Then we'll get the Rams over here. They will be the away team. Just spectate, absolutely. We're going to go here to this. We want simulation. We want event type switched over to Super Bowl. Why this is in this specific spot doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Seems like it would just be, I mean, I guess it makes sense to kind of logically. I thought that I would maybe be able to pick the stadium of the Super Bowl, but event type Super Bowl, even teams off 15-minute quarters. We're going to leave the accelerated or the play clock remaining at 15 seconds. I think that worked out pretty well. And we're gonna jump on in here. I'm gonna disappear for a minute because this one actually is gonna give me a pretty good screenshot, which I appreciate because I actually started it just to kind of see what it was. The intro here. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Bam. It won't be the ugly one that went up last time.
It's the Rams and the Bengals, and it's coming up next. EA Sports coverage.
So you can watch this instead of watching all the pregame coverage that sucks, because there's way too much pregame coverage. Super Bowl 56. I think there's your thumbnail right there. Looks nice. Excited. I'm hoping that the Bengals win, though I am okay if the Rams win. Cooper Kupp. Excited about it. Yeah. Though I think Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, those guys winning. I don't know. I'm excited. This is the most excited, like I was saying last week, most excited I've been for a Super Bowl in over a decade. Very excited about it. So we'll see how it happens, or how it unfolds later today. If anything, I just hope it's a good game. That's we've been treated to some good games over the last couple of weeks. The last six NFL games, all the divisional games, those have been great, and even the conference championship games were very good as well. Must have bumped my camera.
Meanwhile, the LA Rams, they are back in the
So we will we'll jump in here. Second time in 4 years, like the commentators are saying, for the Los Angeles Rams. The Cincinnati Bengals had not won a playoff game since like 1991. And away we go. This will be our prediction. So here we go. They'll get it up to about the 20-yard line. And that's where Joe Burrow and the Bengals will take over.
But they've always had that great defense, and they're looking to ride that crew to a Super Bowl crown.
The Bengals offense here ready to rock and roll. Joe Burrow is the man at quarterback.
And he's been sensational all season.
Bengals did not play particularly well in the game against Buffalo last week. Their defense really limited them. They did get some touchdowns later in the game, but it was just not enough. I think for this game, the most important matchup is going to be the Rams defensive line versus the Bengals offensive line. I feel like rarely it's as important as you kind of see here. Oh, it was a screenplay. Oh, nice play. I like this call. I like it a lot. That's a big play to start for the Bengals. Bengals offensive line kind of lets stuff through a little bit more frequently, and the Rams defensive line is very good. Very, very good. But I like this play call right off the bat. Go with the screen. Key move here, or at least a little bit of a block there. Went out of bounds. At midfield. Rams, the second team in a row to play. Oh, just missed him. Play in their home stadium with a shot at the Lombardi Trophy. You'll notice in the stands there's a lot of blue here. There was not a lot of blue during the NFC Championship. It was kind of like they were playing an away game. I remarked last week in the What If AFC Championship game that I find it very funny that they spent billions of dollars for a stadium that the city of Los Angeles, like populace, just does not care about either of the teams. And the worst part is that both teams are good. That was a bang bang play right there. The context of he got hit twice, dropped the ball. So Cincinnati, a great first offensive play. Nothing since.
Again, it's Burrow.
Four-man rush. Look out for Vaughn. Fumble. It's going to be a scoop and score for the Rams.
And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, LA. Striking first in any game is very important, but on this stage, the biggest of stages in the Super Bowl, that's huge.
You fully expect the other team to battle.
Wow.
But when you're the one setting the pace,
Vaughn came off. Von Miller came off the edge clean. And Burrow on his blind side just never saw it. So it's going to be 6-0 Rams here. Extra point pending, obviously.
For the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead.
Helmets look really nice, actually. This is on Series S, by the way, if you're curious. Don't know how well it shows with the videos that I make, but, you know, in case you're curious. I never buy these games at full price. I always wait for them to be discounted. Usually, and especially with the way that they've done EA Access or EA Play, whatever it's called, they'll do the 10-hour trials, and because it's part of Xbox Game Pass, I actually get to. It's nice to be able to check out the games, get the content up, you know, look at them as they come out. And this one especially had like a pretty easy achievement list. So I actually had 750 gamer score out of the out of the very limited amount of time I had played. Separate achievement lists, if you're curious about that. You can buy the Ultimate Edition or whatever it is for like $30 and get the Xbox One and the Xbox Series version as the season comes to a close. Hides the ball spot indicator for the home team.
And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. On the stop was Aaron Donald. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back.
Tripped a little water right on my basketball shorts.
You know those defensive ends.
What is happening? How did I forget how to drink?
Straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
Rolls out. There you go. It's a little play. Positive play there. It's surprising because the Bengals started so well. They had that huge screen on first down, and then 2 incompletions, and then the fumble. And
you can guess situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
it's the ball spot indicator. I don't know what that means. Oh, Mixon ran right into the defender. He was right there. It looked like he had a pretty good shot at being able to get through. Do we see a 4th and 1 here from the Bengals? No, we don't. Punt is away. Wow, surprised that was going to be a run back. They were both right there. Rams will be on offense for the first time today. 4,000 yards for Matt Stafford, 26-10. Incredible story for him getting traded here, being able to come into an offense that made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff a couple years ago, and struggled with him at the quarterback position, and then shipped him for Matt Stafford. Now they're in the Super Bowl. He was 0-3 as the Detroit Lions quarterback in the playoffs, and is 3-0 as the Rams quarterback. So good for him. He is why I am okay with the Rams winning a Super Bowl. Him, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald. I mean, Von Miller already has a ring, but nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with the second one. But it's a great story. To go there, to click, to be able to, play. Because it's not like he was ever a bad quarterback. He was just on terrible teams. Kind of, and not to like bag on Rodgers or whatever, but like kind of the opposite of Aaron Rodgers, where like Rodgers plays in a kind of a garbage division and gets to pad his stats 6 times a year against teams that are not where the Packers are as far as the level is concerned. Like there's a very clear gap between the first and second teams in that division. Matt Stafford played well, was a good quarterback, but got dogged because he was on bad teams. Aside from Megatron, like name another Detroit Lions like offensive player in the last 10 years. Golden Tate, but he's a piece of garbage. So I think I'm pretty sure he was on the Lions at some point. Stafford finds a wide open Higbee. Now, this is what we saw throughout the game against Buffalo. The quarterback, Josh Allen, had all kinds of time to find his receivers. Matt Stafford so far twice has dropped back and has had all kinds of time to find receivers. The Bengals defensive line is going to have to get some kind of pressure. The weird thing is it doesn't seem like the game really adjusts the game plan. They were able to. There's a little bit of pressure there. They were able to change their defensive style against Mahomes in the AFC Championship game and climb back into that game. They forced a huge turnover. But we'll have to see what happens today. Oh, missed a tackle there on the outside, but Akers goes down after a minimal gain, 2 yards, 3rd down and 8. 3rd and 8. Let's see what happens here.
They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
First down marker at the 31. It's 3rd down. Now Stafford.
Oh, they kind of get through, but he's lifted or throwing it deep. Tipped and incomplete. 4th down.
In a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down.
Might see a field goal here. The field goal is hard to watch in this
So now on comes the field goal unit.
in this camera angle.
This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got
Good.
every bit of that one as it's good from 56.
The camera doesn't pan up. Like, ideally it would be like, oh, here's the,
Kicks like that
like,
used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a
the
feeling
arc,
about
the
it.
trajectory of the ball, or like, you know, every other camera or NFL production does, behind the goalposts or behind the kicker. So the Rams out to a quick 10-0 lead. The Bengals receiving the ball for the 3rd time here in the 1st quarter. Opening kickoff, a touchdown, field goal. See if they can do anything offensively.
As the kicks away. Taken in at the 3.
Up to the 20.
Across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23.
So 1st down and 10.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10.
Kind of a slow-moving 1st quarter. A lot of incompletions slowing the clock down.
Burrow looking to pass.
Burrow. Oh, no!
Intercepted. Picked off.
Oh, my goodness.
To the 24-yard line. So more problems here in this 1st quarter. Already 2 scores down, and here they give away the football.
And if I'm the
Not
head coach,
really sure what happened. He, like, slipped as he went for that. Looks really
They
funny.
can't perceive it as fake, but I'd go get after some guys because they don't look ready to play to me. They look flat, uninspired. It's time to get moving.
So the Rams coming back onto the field, their 2nd drive of the game. And fortunate to get points on the board last time.
So an absolutely brutal start here for Cincinnati.
Kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense.
There is, I believe that is Cooper Kupp. I believe it's his 1st reception of the game. 14 yards, so that'll put him down at the 10.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Now a 1st down throw. Stafford.
All kinds of time. 2 receivers in the area. Good stop by the Bengals defense to push him outside.
To about the 2 before going out of bounds. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now a play fake and it's Stafford.
Play action pass. Stafford still lots of time, even with the extended setup in the backfield. Bend but don't break defense the Cincinnati Bengals are playing. They have only given up 3 points, so it's not entirely their fault they're down 10.
After the incompletion, here now 3rd and 2.
I don't love a play action pass down in the red zone. Hand the ball off. Akers easily in for the touchdown.
Touchdown Rams. Cam Akers taking it in from 2 yards out.
So it still says 3rd and 2 for some reason.
As they extend their lead in the Super Bowl. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up.
All right, point after touchdown. Only halfway through this first quarter, and I am contemplating restarting so that it's actually an interesting game.
And that makes our score 17-0.
I mean, I guess the good news is the real Super Bowl can't possibly be any worse than this.
So an early advantage now, and a good one. 17-0 our scores. They kick this one away.
Bad news for the Bengals, too, who will not get the second half kick, so it'll be...
He makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Could be in a dangerous position here as they could end up even further behind. 2 for 5, 38 yards. A lot of that coming on that first completion. No touchdowns, obviously, but the one really weird pick. Not sure if like his arm got hit by a defender or what, but that ball did not come out clean. Did not get up the field very far before it got picked by a Rams defender.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. They'll hand it off here. This
The
is
ball off up the middle.
They'll take this ahead for about 4.
Second down and 6 after the 4-yard gain.
And it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you
Got a little trip set at the bottom of your screen.
From the 27, Burrow.
There you go. Find Mixon. Drive this team down the field. Get some first downs. Give your defense a chance to take a break.
So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover it before he gets going.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon.
Ooh.
He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
I feel like it's going to be really difficult for the Bengals to get a good
It'll be 2nd down.
get a good running game going against this front four.
That was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it?
But set it up, see if you can bait him in with a play action pass.
Officially nothing on that last run.
2 receivers to the bottom side of your screen.
Burrow will throw.
Like that play right there.
It's Tyler Boyd. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
So that's a nice run. I don't think that's where, I think the first down is more like straight the field, up the field, not sideways. First down. Looking right at the...
Maybe we can get them focused and moving in the right direction.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Burrow.
Oh, Burrow, he can move. I don't know why he threw that pass. He had a lot of green to his right. He should have just kept running that ball. You do not want to see that if you are a fan of the Bengals. You don't want to see people throwing the ball back across their body over the middle of the field. I know that was toward the sideline, but that is a recipe to get picked. As a Packers fan, I know it well.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10.
Ooh, he dropped the route and almost got an interception. I don't know who number 50 is. It might be Mayo. Which, by the way, who is... I'm not sure.
This has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Oh, Ernest Jones. I apologize. I was thinking 50 was Mayo because there's an incredible, like, I think it's Best Foods / Hellman's is teaming up with Mayo, and it's like Mayo cross Mayo, and that's going to be like a Super Bowl ad or something. Excited about it. Get the new Jordan Peele trailer during the Super Bowl. Excited about that. I think it's his third directorial feature. I have not seen Get Out, but I have seen Us. It was alright, I think. I don't remember. I think I reviewed it on Week in Review. Let's see. Let's find out. As the Bengals 7 yards away from a touchdown. Burrow dropping back, looking, rolling to his right. Just hold the ball, run, you're in. Touchdown Bengals. What a response drive there by Joe Burrow. The cameraman was not holding his camera correctly.
I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Evan McPherson for the extra point.
Yeah.
And it's 17-7.
I opened a mystery box from Funko as well. If you're curious, Week in Review episode number 62 had a review of Us. The title of the episode is called Shazam Us, Disappoint Us. Back when I never made thumbnails, I just let YouTube randomly generate the picture, and almost all of them were me with like my hands like this.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one.
It was a made extra point, but all right. So that's the Bengals offense that you're hoping to see. Moving down the field, making some plays. Burrow, I feel like the second run, I was really worried because the first time he rolled out to his right, he had a lot of green in front of him. He could have run and slide, done all that stuff, but he whipped it back across his body. In the red zone, he starts to roll towards his right, and you're like, oh no, what's he gonna do here? Is he gonna throw the ball back across his body? But he held it and scored a touchdown. Now, the defense has to hold up its end of the bargain, and it needs to get a stop here. I don't think a field goal is really okay at this point. I think they need to let their offense get on the field, try to make this a one-possession game, either with a field goal of their own or another touchdown. But we'll see what happens. 6-yard gain on first down. Not great if you are rooting for Cincinnati. Good start for Los Angeles, going right back to the ground, picking up good yards.
Settle down and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
On second down and 4.
Stafford with all day. Finally, someone breaks free. It's caught, but it's out of bounds. It looked like he was clearly out of bounds.
So many times we see teams go on the road and want to lean on their running game, but this crew just announced they're going to try and air it out and make hay downfield.
All right, so 3rd down and 4. Trip receiver set there, right off the top side of that line. That, I guess, is quite the formation if you're playing competitive Madden. I watched a speed run. That's right, a speed run of a football game. And they were talking about how one of the formations they ran had a triple set like that. And that was, I guess, it's a very good formation to run against, or in Madden, in competitive Madden. So. I mean, it makes sense. You know, a little bunch formation. Who's going where? You get a mismatch. You had Cooper Kupp on a linebacker. That is a win for the offense. Every time.
You realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
2nd down and 6 as the Rams approach midfield. They're going to run inside again. He'll get a yard. 3rd down and 5 coming up. It's weird when the like animations freeze as it tries to fade. It like goes like and then fades out. And you're like, Maybe let it run for an extra second while it fades, or just do a hard cut instead of a fade.
Now it's Stafford.
Stafford. They brought an extra rusher. They're going to get to the quarterback with a sack. And that is what the Bengals defense needed to do. Nice play by the Bengals. They brought one extra rusher. And I mean, it was one-on-one, but they, you know, met at the quarterback and
Hall of Famer at one corner and a defensive player of the year at the other, and they just locked people down.
they get the stop. So what looked like an unstoppable juggernaut in the Los Angeles Rams offense does indeed get stopped. The Rams, very good punt coverage there, aided by not great punt blocking by the Bengals. They looked like they were going to set up for an easy block, and then they just didn't.
So effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down.
So we still have 1 minute, 3 seconds left here in the third quarter. Or third quarter. The first quarter, I apologize. First quarter. See what the Bengals have as they will start from their own 15-yard line. They'll start with a handoff up the middle. Rams quickly on top of that. 2nd down and 8, only a 2-yard gain. Cincinnati has taken both of the momentum bonuses. I don't know exactly what the terminology is in this game, but that's a nice grab by Higgins. 7 for 11, 122 yards, still with that one interception, but having a better run at it over the last couple of drives. So the Bengals have erased those 2 momentum bonuses, and they've taken those, I don't know, those things away. That'll do it. 1 quarter in the books of Super Bowl 56. Pretty even, honestly. As far as snaps are concerned, the yards far favor the Bengals, but the Rams haven't usually had far to go due to turnovers. So lopsided score, but it's getting closer, getting more interesting, thankfully. Nerve-wracking when you get one shot at it. It's like you're here to make this recording. It's supposed to go up, and it's like, well, hope it's good. Another fumble, but it's going to be picked up by the Bengals, and he's actually going to make a little bit of progress here. He'll lose 8 yards, but it could have been worse. Number 67 making some moves.
And why do we measure quarterbacks' hands? Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
So they keep the football.
So 2nd down and 18 after the 8-yard loss.
from the shotgun, Joe Burrow.
There you go. You gotta think you're gonna be looking for some more quick pass opportunities for the Bengals offense, as the D-line of the Rams is doing a great job getting off blocks. He was almost met again by Von Miller in the backfield. And Von Miller is not only an incredible defensive player, but he keeps coming off on Burrow's blind side. He's lined up again on that side as this time.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look
Hold. They'll look for the pass. They won't, they'll get back to the initial line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down and 10. So the Bengals defense does its job, holds the Rams scoreless, gives Cincinnati a good opportunity to try to get back into this game. But the offensive line, which I pointed out earlier was probably going to be a key for the Bengals, both in this game and in real life, they can't do their part. Nearly leads to another strip sack.
37 yards on the punt with no return.
It's going to be very important for Cincinnati to stay ahead of the chains, as they're not going to be able to do it with short passes if they have 3rd down and 16.
They haven't really had to utilize him all that much so far, but I guess if you're winning on the scoreboard, not too much to complain about.
Not at all, but you know those guys out wide, they want as many catches as they can possibly get. They may need him later on if things get a little tighter.
Yeah, so far 2 catches. We'll see what happens here as the game progresses. On 1st down, it's
Stafford, nice play there. It's Odell Beckham Jr. with the grab. 2nd down and 4. I hate that picture on that stupid tablet. It's not accurate at all.
And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. On the handoff.
Akers up the middle. That's a nice 7-yard gain. So it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Rams.
But I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Have to keep an eye as the clock winds down here in the 2nd quarter. Can the Rams double dip? Referred to it a little bit earlier when the game was 17-0. But there is they will qualify that as a pass. It's going to be a 6-yard gain. One of those little flip passes that they like to run. You see that a lot on in Green Bay as well. Very timing based. But if the Rams can get the ball back, score, get the ball after the half, and then score, they could really put this game out of reach early in the 2nd half. So the Bengals have to be careful here. They'll float pass out toward the sideline. Those are always dangerous, because they kind of just hang up in the air there, and it's hard to see, especially from our perspective, because it doesn't pan down quite quickly enough. But the defense can get good positioning on those. Just the trajectory of the ball can be a little floaty.
1st and 10 up at the 46. Out of the gun, Stafford. It's caught by OBJ. And he's brought down.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield.
Okay, Cincinnati. I need another defensive stop. I need this game to get a little closer here. Come on. Do it for your host, your boy.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 41.
Rams have only been stopped one time, and it doesn't look like they're going to be slowed down on this one. That was floated out beautifully in front of Beckham Jr. there. They'll be in the red zone just like that. Beckham's 3rd reception.
And right now, it's paying off big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, Stafford.
Floats it, and that is going to be a Cooper Kupp touchdown.
Matthew Stafford finding Cooper Kupp for the touchdown there.
I do hope Eastern Washington's Cooper Kupp does get a touchdown in the game at some point. The actual MVP of the NFL season, Cooper Kupp.
Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Here's Gay now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it winds up with
the Bengals defense provided minimal resistance there, as the Rams make it look easy to extend this lead back out to 17 points. Bengals with a brutal start to this game on the first possession, giving it up for the touchdown. They were able to find rhythm on one of the drives, but they have since stalled out a couple of times in a row and does not look good. There is a whole second half to play, and this is a team, I should say. They can catch fire late in games. They trailed Kansas City by, 18 in the postseason. They trailed them by 14 in the regular season and won both of those games. So it is possible. But they need to start making some moves here, especially offensively. More consistency from the offense. One good drive obviously isn't going to cut it. The defense needs to play a little more consistently as well.
Maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles.
Ooh, Jamar Chase just fell down. He'll get 6 yards, but that probably should have been a first down. They'll go out of bounds. Probably will stop the clock a little. Oh, it won't actually. Guess it's good until they're ready for play. Then it resumes.
Throwing again on second
Bengals
down.
dropping, looking, sacked. That'll set them back further than the original line of scrimmage, and that'll be a 3rd down and 11. Put me in, I can throw. Not sure. I think you're wearing a Rams jersey, so I don't know why.
They've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. They'll set up a throw. Oh, he'll let one go deep.
There's a nice play. Oh, you gotta catch that. Oh, couldn't make the catch. That was in his hands and out of him. 4th down and 11 coming up. Man.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Now on 4th down.
So the punt will be away, and the Rams are going to have fantastic field position at the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10. It's oh boy. 6 for 6 on the last drive, 70 yards. I think they ran it once.
6 of 6 touchdown pass. So whatever he did then, do it again, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when I watch the best quarterbacks throw 7-on-7 or even routes versus air. They're accurate. The receivers catch it. The ball never touches the ground. Or if you want to take it to basketball, a well-executed fast break, right? Pass, pass, pass. Finish at the rim, basket. Yeah, ball never hits the ground there either.
Meanwhile, Stafford's throw, it's
a lot of effort for no gain there. 2nd down and 10. So
That's always a good
Still 7 for 7 over his last 7 passes.
not only on this team, but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days,
Over the middle, he's going to be short, depending on forward progress. Looks like they'll
Yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with third.
call him a yard short here. 4th reception for Odell Beckham Jr.
On the give, this is Akers. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield.
So at midfield, halfway through this second quarter. Sean McVay fist pumps. Don't know why they have this angle. They're like, yes, let's put his crotch first. Video games need more shots with the penis directly in front of the audience. They need what? You heard me. I don't think I did. Let's say I didn't.
From the 50, Stafford.
Stafford looking. Stafford still looking. Stafford looking some more. Throwing it out of bounds.
No sense risking anything there on first down, even though he's still in the pocket. He had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in.
But again, all day for Stafford to throw in the backfield.
And the coaches. Well done.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing is Stafford.
Again, all day in the pocket. Throwing, finding a wide open Cooper Kupp. Get that on the sideline. Punch that man in the face. He'll run all the way to the walls of the stadium. Crowd yelling, "What are you doing?" Man, that throw is a... If that throw... Oh my goodness. Sir, is your ankle okay? What happened? Oh my God. That was horrible.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford.
Play action pass again, all kinds of time. Bengals finally get some pressure, but not before he lets it loose again to Cooper Kupp. First down and goal at the 4. This Rams offense is on fire. The Bengals have no answers. They had the 1 sack earlier in this game, but they are taking so long to get to the quarterback. Second throw to Cooper Kupp on the sideline. Hopefully his ankle looks a little better this time around. He'll roll out of bounds.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him.
We got a big line going here. It's a handoff to, might be a tight end, Hopkins.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Stafford.
Oh, too easy. Wide open. Touchdown Rams. Beckham Jr. with the touchdown. We have a 30-7 game.
And the Rams are starting to open things up here in the Super Bowl.
I mean, the Bengals defense just has no answers. I don't know what it is, the way this game is programmed. They finally brought an extra blitzer, but they just couldn't get to him in time. It doesn't seem like this game really adjusts like what it's doing, if that makes sense. Like I'm sure it is, but the Rams keep having all kinds of time to throw the ball because Cincinnati's only rushing 4. They're rarely blitzing.
And the result for the Rams, a touchdown.
So it is 31-7. What color of
following the touchdown. Here's Gay to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
I was hoping it would be like the
Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now
None of this is like
more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the
looks like they're wearing white with yellow. White jersey tops with yellow pants, maybe? I was hoping that I would just be able to... Oh, there we go. Super Bowl uniforms. The Bengals are going... What? Oh, continue reading. The Bengals are wearing the black jersey type, or jersey, but white pants. So that's a little different than the game portrays it. The Rams are wearing white tops with yellow pants. And the patch is a little bigger. That's actually the thing I was the most curious about, is the patch in this game looks very small. It's more noticeable on the actual jersey. I love the numbers. I love the way the numbers look. Wild.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Burrow.
Oh, Joe Burrow, he's running. He somehow ducked Aaron Donald, which is surprising, but he couldn't really duck out of the way of Von Miller. Kind of a weird tackle. Nothing. I mean, obviously nothing like illegal or anything. It's kind of it's a late slide. Nothing anyone's really going to get all that mad about.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir.
I don't know how he ducked Aaron Donald though. Wild.
Off the play fake. Here's Burrow.
Oh, nice catch there. Caught that one, Higgins.
Another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams 40.
I believe that's who he threw to earlier. It looked like he was pretty open and dropped it, but there's a nice play right there. Bengals could probably probably would be good for them to take more time off this clock. 2:45 to go. You can't give the Los Angeles Rams, especially with the way they're playing, any more time. Gain a little bit more momentum. They got nerves enabled. Home team loses something. So there's a protection issue for the Bengals. And then there's an additional second thing. And again, we have a game where the Bengals just don't have any momentum in it. Loses some receiver icons before the snap. Oh, that's right. It's the ball thing. I don't know where that was going to, but it is incomplete. And just like that, it is 3rd and 10.
Receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
The Bengals on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They're passing here. Joe Burrow.
Oh, that almost got picked. Is that Von Miller, I thought? It was either 40 or 50.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to...
Oh, they're going for a long field goal here on 4th down and 10. McPherson missed one, and he missed this one. He is perfect in real life. He is perfect this postseason, and he has missed both field goals we have seen him attempt in these 2 games that we've been doing. The what if and this Super Bowl game. So Matt Stafford, 16 for 21, 176 yards, a couple of touchdowns, incredible field position, 3 timeouts, and I believe, yes, a 4th stoppage because there is still the 2-minute warning. So this game could get even uglier and more out of hand than it already is. So stick around for, I don't know, just hanging out. I suppose.
3 yards shy of midfield after that long 57-yard miss.
You know what? The real players only get one chance. They don't get to restart. The digital players will only get one chance. No time to restart. Or else I'm also too deep into this recording to go, like, let's scrap it now. It's 8:30. I'm only going to get loopier. 2-minute warning. 31-7. Learned today that the 2-minute warning was apparently a thing that the officials would do to notify the coaches of the time left because there weren't scoreboards back in the day. And then they just kept it. So that's weird. Now, obviously, it's, you know, as they said on the, this was all during the speed run that I watched of an NCAA football game.
I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Just an opportunity for them to cram more commercials in. Stafford has all day and a rocket arm. He is in the corner. That's a catch. Another red zone opportunity for the Rams. That's Jefferson as the Rams eclipse 200 passing yards. I don't know why the defenders moved. All right. What was that supposed to be?
The next gen stats, that ball traveling a full 59 yards through the air. Now Stafford.
Wasn't centered on screen at all. Oh, I heard it go like.
He's got Akers. Touchdown. Make that now 3 first-half touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. And the Rams are starting to pour it on at the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl.
I wish this was more competitive. I have to sit here and watch it with you. I mean, we could just call it. We could just say, you know what? That's fine.
That's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half.
This is so bad. On the big pass play down the left sideline, the one that they next-gen statted, they showed the replay and it looked weird to me because it seemed like the safety was starting to go toward the sideline but then just broke off and stopped.
After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away.
That just seemed like an odd decision.
Touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. And out now, here come the Bengals.
So both of the games that we have featured here on youtube.com/ShotOnSportsRex with the Bengals have not been competitive, which is truly unfortunate.
Whenever you get an opportunity, you can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score.
Analytics are simultaneously the most interesting and most boring thing in the world. I don't know how it manages to do it, but whew, are they...
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow.
Oh, God, that's ridiculous.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
It seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left. He tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
Bengals going to take a timeout here. 3rd down and 4. 61 seconds to go.
The Rams go nickel here defensively on third. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Open man is using
Pass rush is doing so well.
the first of their timeouts.
So well for the Rams. They're forcing all of these super short throws. That's why I was talking about the Bengals need to be ahead of the chains. Because of the way that the Rams defensive front is playing. I don't even really think they're sending blitzers all that frequently. They're just getting there with 4 guys. It is ridiculous.
A 41-yard punt there with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set
Okay, so the Rams,
Stafford trots back onto the field.
my
How about the start
God.
So far, Charles? 3 first-half touchdown passes.
And that's how you generate excitement on a team. Keep your offense moving at a really high level. And it's also how you establish leadership by playing that well. 3 touchdown passes. That's the way to lead.
Now he's just hoping for number 4. Now a first down throw. Stafford. And his throw is incomplete.
It's a weird, that's an odd miss.
He wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
So second down and 10 here. Bengals get a little bit of a break with an incompletion.
Now it's Stafford.
Throws it out wide. All right. Cincinnati will take a timeout here. Force a third down and 8 or 9, so a long third down here.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. Off the fake to Akers. Here's Stafford.
Play action fake. They're driving him back, but the offensive line for Los Angeles is doing so well. They're going to get a wide open player down the middle of the field. And we're going to see a timeout most likely from Los Angeles here, as Cincinnati is not getting any pressure with 4. Probably looking across the field and jealous of the fact that the Rams are getting pressure with 4 on like every play. 28 seconds to go. 28 seconds to go. 1 timeout for each team. I don't know if I love the timeout by Cincinnati. You really can't give a team that you can't stop more time to work with. And especially for a team that's not playing very well on offense. I just...
I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down. They might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
On first down, Akers.
A little confused as to why the Rams just ran the ball there. They're letting this clock tick down. 10. I'll take a timeout. They let 7 seconds bleed off that thing. Don't like the run at all. I know you want to try and be a little more, a little surprising. Maybe catch them off guard. But I don't love it with 1 timeout. I'm okay with it with 2 timeouts. They'll go ahead and just kick the field goal here. Now the clock management's even more confusing. So they ran it, didn't get anything, let 6 seconds run off the clock, call the timeout, and then kick the field goal. Which means that you shouldn't have called the timeout, because you should have kicked it with 3 seconds to go. Man, that is a whole mess. I guess if that's the worst thing you do in a half of football and you're up by 34 points, I guess it's okay.
Maybe time for one play on offense. And 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. Taking it about the 1. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
I love when I have 2 tabs open on the exact same thing. So Cincinnati's going to kneel it down, run the rest of this clock out, go into half down 41-7. Rams going to get the ball after the break. So there you go. We are at the half. The offensive snaps for Cincinnati is not that far behind. And the pass, that is weirdly, for as lopsided as this score is, the stats are fairly comparable. All right, I'm going to hop up. You enjoy the game. I just moved the stick, so it shouldn't go to sleep. I'm going to fill up my water bottle, and we'll be back. I'll be right back.
They still were able to move the ball reasonably well in that first half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in the Super Bowl. The return is Brandon Powell. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Rams offense ready to begin quarter number 3. And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue with that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. 49ers had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold on. So plenty can still happen.
Stafford on first down. Going for Jefferson downfield. And got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big connection on that one. 33 yards. Well, you had all halftime to think about what you wanted to do to start the second half. They came out with a big one.
Does that not beg the question? What was happening in the other locker room at halftime? Was that the one play they didn't cover as a possibility? Because they just gave up a big, big gain.
They'll run on first down. Akers. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. 43 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a play fake it at Stafford. That's complete to his tight end, Higbee. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Here's Stafford. Man open, it's Cup. He's got it. And he's going to have a Rams first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision
All right, same old, same old.
that was discussed at the half, just being
Rams have the ball. Rams move the ball. Cincinnati doesn't stop them.
Because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Yes, second half blowout material. We've been there for like a quarter and a half at this point.
But that second effort got him a couple extra. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense, diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
2nd down at 5. On the counter, this is
Oh, big run. It's going to be... Oh, Odell Beckham Jr. did his best to stop it, but can't. Touchdown. Cam Akers, 47-7.
Just continue to pour it on. Well, it has been the passing game that's really been responsible for much of the scoring so far, but let's not forget about this running.
Look at this weirdness at the end of this play. Just running directly into their own blocker.
Contributed to that touchdown because that was a defense that was really keyed up to cover those receivers. All they wanted to do was blanket them. They didn't have enough men in the box to stop the run, and you saw the end result.
Kick is up. Kick is good. So now a 41-point game. We are... Whew. What are the most points scored by a team in the Super Bowl? We are looking at a possible record here. Let's see. 75 combined points. 49, 41, 48. They've already tied the Tampa Bay. Oh, 52 for the Cowboys.
So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half. Okay?
Looks like it's going to be the 49ers, 55. Seattle's up there, 43. 6th place. So you got 55, the 49ers in 1990 against Denver, 55-10. Dallas beat Buffalo 52-17. San Francisco again on the board, 49-26. Tampa Bay had 48 in the Super Bowl where they crushed the Raiders. Bears had 46. Seahawks 43. Washington 42. Philadelphia 41. So they are currently tied for 4th. The Rams are for the most points scored by an individual team in Super Bowl history. The highest combined score is 75 points. That was the 49ers, 49. The Chargers, 26. So I guess we'll keep an eye on that as well. Though we're going to need some more offense out of the Bengals. So I do think at a certain point, Los Angeles is going to have to just shift into, we're going to run the clock. We don't need any long-term injuries. Don't need to go pouring it on that badly. But Cincinnati got off to a horrendous start, and it somehow just got worse. Got as close as 17-7, but since then it has been all Rams, scoring 31 points, excuse me, to Cincinnati's 0. As Cincinnati continues to just get crushed by the teams we put them up against, which makes their run to the Super Bowl seem even more improbable than it already is.
You're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Burrow.
Rolls out to his right. I like. Ooh. I was okay with that throw. A little inaccurate, but I did like the throw that time in front of him to a wide open receiver. He had two guys kind of streaking wide open there. I personally would pick Chase because he could probably do a little bit more after the catch, but either way, I think you're looking at a good decision there, just a bad pass. Burrow. Another bad throw.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
So 9.5 to go in the third quarter. How do commentators do this? They get terrible games like this, and then they have to just kind of talk. Oh, that's going to be right at the sticks. They're going to call him short, most likely, yes. 4th down and 1. I don't think this is even a question. I think you have to go for it. A field goal is useless. Absolutely useless in this scenario. I know you want to get points. I know you want to get maybe like a little momentum on your side, come away with something, but when you're down by 41, and they already have a missed field goal in this game, they're actually going to go for the 3, which I am shocked by.
Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. McPherson's kick is good.
So McPherson comes back, knocks through a 3, and that'll make it 48-10.
But this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Got to go. Now you have to go for it on 4th down.
Kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
So there should be an interesting matchup next week in the What If Super Bowl. Bills and Rams right here next Sunday. So if you're interested in that, stick around.
And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Cam Akers in the Rams offense ready to go back to work. He's had a touchdown for every quarter so far. 3 here
14 rushes, 70 yards.
And this is a situation where it's okay to be greedy. When you've already scored 3 times, you want 4, you want more than that. And guess what? That only helps your team.
Yeah, so far 3, now in search of 4. So from inside the
Not too far off the most points scored by a single team in Super Bowl history, so why not go for that as well? Stafford finds a surprise, wide open receiver with surprise. No pressure.
Before he gets this across the 25-yard line.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge.
One more touchdown would tie it.
As we see here, coverage not been very good. Soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch.
The coverage hasn't been good. Nothing Cincinnati has done has been good. Minus 1 offensive drive. But again, just all the time in the world. Floats it out of bounds. Lives to play another down. 2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. I don't appreciate incomplete passes as it does stop the clock.
Because he saw he had a receiver in the area and just put it well over his head out of harm's way.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Stafford.
Oh, they finally are going to get to him. That's a big sack for the Bengals. Surprising mistake there from Matthew Stafford to allow himself to be driven that far back. 3rd and 25 coming up.
You know those defenders are coming.
And how many times do we talk about complementary football? We usually talk about does the
We'll see if the Bengals want to send another defender on a blitz here. Just try and get the ball out of Stafford's hand as quickly as possible.
They can only do so much.
I am good with a blitz. Take that linebacker right in the middle and bring him toward the quarterback to at least force. Oh my goodness. Oh, tipped and incomplete. Looked like Stafford was backing up into his own end zone a little bit much there. And still, somehow they almost got a completion. Better defense there by the Rams, helped out by a monster sack. And it'll be Cincinnati's ball with likely decent field position.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good.
Not a lot of protection there for the returner. They'll get it, and they'll get hit immediately. So 1st and 10 from the 43. Good starting field position here for Cincinnati. One of the few times we've seen Los Angeles have to punt the ball.
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity.
Jamar Chase is the answer to the question that the commentators are asking right now. Burrow running. Fumbled the ball. So both times we've seen Cincinnati force a punt from Los Angeles. It is almost immediately been given right back. I think the first one was a 3 and out. This one, a disgusting fumble.
There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
That, I believe, is his 3rd fumble of the game. He's lost 2 of them. One of them recovered for a touchdown. That one, yeah, and then the one that was recovered by Cincinnati's offense. So even a shot to maybe try and get back into this game in some form or fashion goes out the window, and now the Rams have the ball back. All kinds of momentum on their side.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the second.
3 turnovers for Cincinnati, all of them the hands of Joe Burrow. Bad interception, strip sack, return for a touchdown. It's always kind of a pain in the rear achievement is the Triple Crown achievement. I actually have not played this game at all. The only time I have had this game on is when I'm recording for this, so I'm never actually like playing the game. You know what I mean? So let's.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
See, man, there's lots of achievement lists. Excuse me, hopping on true achievements. 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain. I think The Wolf Among Us 2 got a new trailer today. I don't know why people like The Wolf Among Us so much. I did not enjoy that game. I could be wrong. I should actually replay it before that new one comes out. It's got obviously one of the easier achievement lists around, but it does weirdly have collectibles, which is an oddity for a Telltale game. I think that one and like Walking Dead Season 4 are like the 2 that have. Oh, I guess I know what I could do. I could play like 2 other Madden games, get some achievements. I think one of them is actually leaving Game Pass soon, which means that this is most likely coming to Game Pass as well.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Unblockable. Throwing darts. A lot of them are repeat achievements from previous years. I believe there is a difference between the Series S/X version and the Xbox One achievement list, but I don't know what that is.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2.
I think it might actually be the momentum.
Here's Akers. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense
there are a
step
lot
up and
of
make a big play.
setups here for one achievement, of course. Actually, should load up the. Let's see. Ah, there it is. Madden list. So the Madden 16.
Stafford on third down.
16 on Xbox One. Stafford all kinds of time. Touchdown, Cooper Kupp. They are 1 point away from having the most points ever scored in a Super Bowl at 55. I do have that tab still up just in case.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. He's been fun to watch under center.
19. There are 3 achievements that are different on this in this game.
This guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes, carving them up is right. Seems like
Weird.
everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more.
So 55-10. It's a brutal Super Bowl loss for Cincinnati. 3:28 to go here in the third quarter, and now my brain is stuck on what are the 3 achievements that are different. 2 to 3 hours is all it takes to really complete this. I know you have to have you kind of have to cheese the online league achievements. Let's see if I can do. So there's like dev trait, locomotion, throwing darts. Created a league. Win Rookie of the Year.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
Relocate team. Yeah. That one theoretically would have the same
getting set and ready to go
fantasy
again.
draft.
And the turnover
Participate in a Pro Bowl, head-to-head game in an online league, Super Bowl, X Factor, Stud Finder, free agent, bidding war for 90 overall, re-sign, MVP, Rookie of the Year. Oh, it's actually just literally the bottom 3 achievements. User has accomplished the biggest momentum swing possible. User creates a tendency counter on a play that results in a turnover. That sounds annoying. Finds him over the middle. User performs a new control juke and spin. Interesting. So the one that the momentum stealer seems like it's a big pain in the ass because the description is just ginormous, especially for a football game. Usually they're pretty simple. My mouse does not have any interest in working. Okay. All right. Under control. Performed with the right, left. Spin is performed by rotating the right stick. Setting a remaining count and throwing any play at the opponent controlled to block a field goal. Once my QB had thrown the ball, I had space behind the defense. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
2nd and 11 now.
It is weird that the spin move is a 360-degree move on the right stick.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good.
Doesn't seem like it's too difficult minus the momentum stealer. But the Triple Crown achievement not in this game.
Staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They're passing here.
They're gonna get tipped and incomplete. Ooh. The Bengals have tried to run that screen. They had the most success on that play. The first play, they had a really big gain. It was very nice. And we've gone back to it a couple of times, and it has not worked in their favor. So the Rams are going to get the ball back again, up 55-10. We have an injury and a hiccup from the host. I do love the sidelines there. That looks cool.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
Under 2 to go here in the third quarter.
Touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with
Akers breaking tackles, getting first downs, setting up the Rams. 1st and 10. I filled up my water during halftime. Have not taken a drink of it like that this entire quarter.
Just kind of tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit. You can forget it. Even with this big third quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield. And there's another.
There's no reason for them to not take shots down the field. Total yards 437 for the Rams, 200 and change for the Bengals. Everything has gone right for Los Angeles, including that play right there. A spinning, twirling throw toward the sideline. And that's how well it's been going. That feels like a heat check throw. I guess it wasn't quite as spinny as I thought it was, but Cooper Kupp on the sideline. They'll bring it in.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Stafford. And his throw here is
he is 29 of 38, 389 yards, I believe was that number, 4 touchdowns. He's thrown a touchdown in every quarter of this game so far. We'll see if he keeps that streak alive in the 4th. Or if they start to maybe bring in some backups, give them a little time to shine in the Super Bowl against a defense that has done absolutely nothing throughout this game. They're not blitzing a lot, which I think is a huge problem. They're not getting to the quarterback with 4. They got to be able to bring extra rushers. Of course, with the way the Rams play a very spread offense, that can be difficult to ask. It's just an offense that knows exactly what it wants to do, and a defense that is unable to get pressure to disrupt what that offense wants to do. Looks like they might be bringing some extra pressure up the middle on this 3rd down and 3.
Again, it's Stafford.
A little fake there. They don't. The 2 guys that were showing pressure backed out, so it's a 5-on-4 defender, or like offensive to defensive situation. That's going to be a big pass. 400 yards for Matthew Stafford on 31 of 40 throwing. And that'll be a 1st and goal, because that's what the Rams need now, is a 1st and goal, up by 45 points. Boy, I hope I put this on the correct difficulty. I mean, it should save the settings. I had it on all Madden. Maybe that's why it's as lopsided as it is. The rating differential is that different.
On EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing again at Stafford.
Oh, man. Nice job by Cincinnati to come down on him and make sure he didn't get into the end zone. I thought that was going to be an easy touchdown, but good pursuit. So from the 1, Bengals load the line, as do the Rams. See if there's maybe a play action here. No, it's just going to be a straight handoff. Touchdown, Rams. They have now scored the most points in Super Bowl history at 61 extra points pending. Previous record was the score that they just had, 55, and that was 30 years ago. It's probably the same season. No, I'm sorry. It was the year before. Yeah, season before the last season that the Bengals won a game. That was a long way to go. Didn't really need to go that direction. Close out some windows here.
So this drive spanned
Don't
7
need
plays. And it was
multiple
Sony
Twitter
Michel's
tabs
touchdown
open.
scamper that polished the drive off.
I don't need that anymore because we have the record. Also don't need that. Got some achievement lists. I think Crossfire X is coming to Game Pass tomorrow, but it doesn't like show it. Headshots count as 2 kills. That's dumb. Play 1 multiplayer map. This is a terrible list. I mean, it's actually not. I can't tell if this Crossfire X achievement list is easy or just dumb. I think it's a little bit of both. So there are 12 achievements for 1,000 gamer score, which is not a great number. Not a big fan of it. However, kill 10 players in multiplayer. Headshots count as 2 kills. Kill 1 player with any weapon. Kill or play 1 multiplayer map. You have to play 10, 50, and 100 maps. Wins get counted as 2. And then you have to get, so you have the 10 kills, 50, 100, and headshots count as 2. And then 10 players. What? 10 players with headshots, 50 players with headshots. Penetration headshot kills will count as 2. 100 players with headshots. Jeez Louise.
Out of the gun, it's Burrow.
Incredibly easy list. Such an unimaginative list. Yeah.
His second sack of the night.
No achievements for the team.
That puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game. And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might just list those out for him. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Burrow. And that would get the
I don't know what that throw was.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On third down.
Monster Energy Supercross 5?
For 8 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. Burrow looking to pass. And Burrow
That's another sack. Is that Aaron Donald again? Is that his first sack? 5 sacks for the Rams. 3 turnovers for the Rams defense. 4th down and 28. I don't even know why this game is still on. The people who must, or the player, or the people who must have, oh my God, let's restart the sentence. The people who have the lead out program must be so bummed if it's a blowout like this, because a lot of people, I'm sure, would tune out from it, you know. It's like, oh, not a lot of people are going to watch the new episode of Grey's Anatomy today after the game. I don't know what the lead out program would be. Maybe like an episode of The Voice. It's on NBC. Could be Al Michaels' last game.
So a change of possession
at least on in this traditional format as far as broadcast television. I have a hard time believing that he won't work until he passes away. But he has been reducing his workload. And they do have Mike Tirico, who I think is a fantastic commentator, you know, like ready to take over, so give him all of it. Give him every week. And I love Al Michaels. I grew up listening to him call games for Monday Night Football, and now he's been at NBC for how many years or whatever. But at the same time, it's also like how many like iconic, for lack of a better term, how many well-known highlights do we need with his voice? Let's get some new voices in there. He's got Double Doink. He has Miracle. That's how long Al Michaels has been around. He called the Miracle on Ice, and that was in what, 1980? Surprisingly quiet stadium for the Rams because they are often dealing with the noise because a lot of the away fans pour in. Having to use that silent count at home. Go back and look at the NFC Championship game. They crammed two teams in Los Angeles, a city that just does not care about the NFL. But the NFL is so determined. We will make you care. Oh my gosh. Now, fortunately for the NFL, they did put two good, should-be contenders for a little while, teams in there. I don't know if, hopefully things pan out for the Los Angeles Chargers now. They had a couple of weird losses throughout the season, and Herbert was inconsistent. Same thing you could say about these Bengals. Inconsistent at times, really good wins, and then just head-scratching losses. It's weird. They're actually running the clock down further because of how lopsided the game is. And the Rams are just running the ball. The Bengals still can't stop it. So. I told it to leave 15 seconds on the play clock. They are winding it all the way down to 10. Just for the speed run. Just for the sake of speed.
You're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Oh, Cam Akers.
Busting through
dragged down.
Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. 5 yards now.
Aluzier into the tackle. 3rd down and 5 for the Rams.
And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Maybe they're not running it down quite as much as I thought they were. A fumble for the Los Angeles Rams, but it is picked up on their side. So even a potential for something positive to happen for Cincinnati, and they still can't get on top of it. A little bit of a high snap there. Didn't really throw off the timing there. Akers with a really weird, just kind of frozen animation there at the bottom. And with his arm in a very weird spot. So they're going to bring out Matt Gay for the kick. 52 yards away. The kick is up. It is good. So 65. They can apply for a senior citizen discount at the local McDonald's. That's how many points they have scored. This is why you do all your ad reads in the front, kids, because people aren't watching this crap. They moved on to bigger, better, more interesting Super Bowl predictions that are hopefully better games. I know Ray is going to be doing one on Saturday. Hopefully it's not as bad for him as this one was for me.
Taking it about the 1.
I do appreciate, by the way, if you're a streamer, content creator, I do appreciate if you put a roadmap up every once in a while. Just like, hey, what we're doing this week, we're continuing this. I know another streamer I follow, Snowlit, she usually does that at the beginning of the weeks. Just being like, hey, this is what we're doing. Something to look forward to, something to try and, remember to be there for. No, it's not easy. I do appreciate Twitch streamers that put their VODs up on YouTube. It's very nice.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Out of the gun, he'll throw.
Burrow again with a short pass. A lot of effort to go into that catch and roll out of bounds. 2nd down and 5.
Here's Burrow.
The clock ticks away here in the 4th quarter. in a very loose definition of the term game. It's been out of hand for a long time now.
Then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is that right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Still an incredible story for the Bengals. They were terrible last year. Excuse me. They were terrible last year. They got Burrow got injured. That's a bad sack. Thankfully for them, not a fumble, because Burrow has lost the ball several times. Second down and 19. Burrow's going to get thrown down here, but thankfully his elbow touched the ground. Otherwise, that would have been another fumble on his oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Resume? Second down and 19, so they're almost back to like the original line of scrimmage they had. Aaron Donald, that's a fumble. That's a recovery. He's up. He is in for the touchdown.
In the first 50 Super Bowls.
The biggest stage, the biggest game, and we just saw it happen again. Extraordinary.
The defense has been good, and they were good again there.
No one's going to know who to pick as the MVP. Obviously, you have Stafford. He has played incredibly well throughout the game, but Aaron Donald, Von Miller, the other two guys on that front have been monsters all game long. Their defense, the Los Angeles Rams defense, the front four, have scored more points than the Cincinnati offense has all game. And we are well past the record now, 72-10. This feels like the Space Jam sequence where the scoreboard just keeps going up and up and up. And Michael Jordan has to come and rally all the Looney Tunes and be like, hey, we can win, or whatever. Oh, that's right. They bring in Bill Murray. That's right. Oh, Bill Murray. Yes, everyone, kids everywhere know who Bill Murray is.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kicks away following that fumble return.
72-10.
This will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
The Rams have probably scored more points in each individual quarter than the Bengals have in the entire game. Was it 17 in the first? I don't even know. 14 here at least in the second, or the fourth.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10.
And Burrow had dropped the ball in the previous play. They're only rushing 3 at this point. Dropping 8 into coverage. Just take whatever. We're 6 minutes and 45 seconds away from a Super Bowl title.
So soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
This also would be the highest scoring. It was, I think 75 was the highest. This one is at 82 total points. So I said that there was going to need to be some offense, but I also meant that, or thought that Cincinnati would help out. They haven't. I think they helped out with a 3. You know what? I take that back. They helped out with a field goal. Other than that, it's been all Rams. The Rams might end up with the most points scored, like the most combined points, by themselves. See what happens here in the last 5:44. I don't think they'll really do a whole lot. Von Miller again chasing Burrow. Burrow throws. That's going to be incomplete. Third down and 1. Cincinnati also has made a couple of questionable play calling decisions. They punted on like a 4th and 1, or it was a field goal on 4th and 1. They have not been aggressive to try and get more points. Granted, with the way that they've been playing, or more specifically the way the Rams defense has been playing, hasn't really mattered. Or offense? I said defense. I meant offense. Hasn't really mattered. The difference would be that it's 72-10 versus 72-14. And again, 5:33. Go for it. Go for it on 4th and 1. I don't know why you're punting it here. Try and get something going. Obviously, it's way too little, too late. But
at the 16-yard line, the offense for Los Angeles returns to the field, and they are trying to play it cool down on the sidelines, but they know that they are very close now to wrapping this thing up and letting the celebration begin. A Super Bowl title within reach now as they try to polish this thing off.
See what the Rams do here, deep in their own territory. From the shotgun, hand off to Akers. He'll get dropped for a loss. Probably the best penetration Cincinnati has had all game long, and it comes way too little too late.
Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Off the fake to Akers. Here's Stafford.
Oh, they're going for it. Steps up in the pocket. No one. There is a fumble. It's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown Bengals. Wow. Wow. Cincinnati putting some points on the board. We've seen 3 fumbles returned for touchdowns, 3 strip sacks, fumble, whatever, I don't know, triple crowns, whatever the hell you want to call them. 3 of those in this game, and they've said a couple of times now that there's been 5 in the previous, whatever. They said 52, which I thought was kind of a weird number, but maybe it's just an outdated piece of dialogue or something. They have been doing these for a long time, so. They could also be referring to the fact that the first 4 were called the AFL NFL Championship game, which feels a little weirdly particular, I guess. Because, I mean, it's not like they like go, oh, the first 4 don't really count. Green Bay winners of 2 of those first 4. The Jets won Super Bowl 3. Off a Joe Namath guarantee. I forget exactly who they played. It was not Green Bay.
So here's the kickoff now as
but they were the team. Oh, hang on, I'll look it up. I'll look up the team that played because I have time.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And they'll be looking to start fresh. Just a moment ago, they were backed up, coughed up the football, and then saw it go the other way for 6 points.
I just wonder, partner, sometimes they put such an emphasis
Super Bowl 3 was over the Baltimore Colts. And I remember that the Baltimore Colts were just ashamed that they lost to an AFL team. Like the NFL looked at the AFL as such an inferior product, such an inferior group of people, players, everything. For them to lose that game was really devastating. But then, I mean, if you look, the first 6 Super Bowls are actually evenly split between AFC, NFC. Green Bay, Dallas. And then you have Jets, Chiefs, Colts winning 3 in a row, 3, 4, and 5. Then you see a little bit of an AFC streak. And then the NFC dominated between 85 and 97. The team to lose to break that streak was Green Bay against Denver. Denver won back-to-back Super Bowls. And obviously the Rams won back in 99.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
Oh, they have the referee listed?
Stafford.
Matt Stafford?
And this play comes to a hold at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. They stop him for only 3.
So it'll be in SoFi Stadium, and then it'll be in State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona next year. It'll be at the Raiders' new home in 2024. And it'll be back in the Superdome for the 8th time. It'll be at the Superdome. The 11th time it'll be in New Orleans. The following that final year, 2025. So a lot to look forward to.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return.
The Rams really laid an egg in the last Super Bowl they appeared in. 13-3 was the score. It's kind of a gross game from what I remember. I did not see all of it, but there were definitely a bad game. I know a lot of people, for some reason, are like, "Oh, it's just bad because there weren't a ton of points scored." It's like, no, it was a bad game. It's a bad game because offenses weren't clicking. They were missing wide open receivers. It just wasn't a good game for either side.
Back to throw here.
And I hate that argument. I hate the argument that like people say that, oh, it's only a bad game because it's a defensive game. No, defensive games can be good. Low scoring, tense games can be good. And you know what? High scoring absurdathons can be fun as well. Think about how fun the end of the divisional game between Buffalo and Kansas City was. That was a blast. Players were making plays frankly on both sides of the ball. The Kansas City defense was holding Buffalo to 4th downs that they had to convert, and Buffalo came through and converted those 4th downs, and it was a good game leading up to that as well. Great defensive stops, especially right at the end of the half, that prevented Kansas City from getting points. It's good stuff. God, that game was so good. What a shame that it had to end with terrible overtime rules. Cincinnati throwing it deep down the left sideline. Jamar Chase doing a good job to play a little defense there as we hit the 2-minute warning, as you saw. Minute 53 to go here in this one. Don't forget, next week we'll be taking a look at Bills versus Rams and asking ourselves the question, did a coin flip in the AFC divisional game cost the Bills a Super Bowl? Previous question was, did that coin flip, that very coin flip, cost them a Super Bowl berth? Now we'll be asking if it cost them a Super Bowl ring.
And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. We'll get the post-game show, whatever the hell it is, in this. And Cincinnati again just punting the ball for like no reason on a 4th down.
First down, they'll start out with Akers, and he can only manage to get a couple.
Hopefully Cincinnati is smart enough to not use timeouts. Down by this 55-point margin. God. You know, I did not see it going quite this way. Was hoping Cincinnati would mount a bit of a comeback, but they just never did. They had 10 points on offense. They got the miracle bonus touchdown right at the end of the game. Stafford coughed it up and it landed perfectly on the end line for, or the goal line, I should say, for Cincinnati touchdown.
Because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On third down, Akers. And he'll be
So Akers will pick up a first down. I will disappear. We'll let these final 10 seconds run off. And the Los Angeles Rams. So this version of the game picked the Rams to win, or my play out of it, I guess. Spectation of it. The official Madden prediction says that the Cincinnati Bengals will win. So one of us will be right, one of us will be wrong. I hope I am the wrong one, though I am okay if I am the right one, because I am good if the Rams win.
You see the emotion when it's all said and done. You see the hugs, you see the guys sharing, the collective happiness. Makes me want to carry you around a little bit on my shoulders to celebrate the triumph.
Lombardi Trophy hanging out in Los Angeles and giving Matthew Stafford his first ring and his first try getting a Super Bowl. Oh, it's a bad time for that to go dark. Don't know why there's no real audio there, but sure. Some nice plays here. The Rams had all of it working all game long. I don't know why they dove. That looks like I was actually playing this game, but I was not. Just spectating. One of the 3 fumbles returned for a touchdown that we saw in this game. 2 in favor of the Rams, 1 in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't even give us like a player of the game, so that's fun. Matthew Stafford ended up 33 of 42 for 425, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Burrow 25 of 43, 280 through the air, 58% completion percentage, not great. No touchdowns, the 1 pick. Cam Akers 31 for 136, 2 touchdowns. Did have a fumble. Mixon 7 attempts, 8 yards. Gross. Joe Burrow 5 for 23. And a couple of guys with some ones down there at the bottom. 1 yard, 5 yards, 2 yards. Receiving wise, we're going to see a lot of Rams on this list. Actually, it's not as lopsided as I thought it would be. Cooper Kupp. College, look at that. Eastern Washington, small town outside of Spokane, my hometown. Love to see it. 2 touchdowns on 10 catches, 137 yards average, 13.7 yards per catch. Higbee also had 10 catches, 83 yards, no touchdowns. Uzama 8 for 81, Mixon 7 for 84. Jefferson 5 for 122. Beckham Jr. 5 for 51, 1 touchdown. Boyd 4 for 35. Chase 3 for 26. Akers 3 for 32 and a touchdown. T. Higgins 3 for 54. And you got Hopkins over here who just gets on the board because he had a drop. So that's kind of embarrassing. That's about as embarrassing as it's going to get for any Rams player here. Kick-wise, Matt Gay, 3 for 3 on field goals, a long of 46. 9 for 9 extra points and extra points made. So he combined 18 points in this game came off the foot of Matt Gay. Evan McPherson, not as good of a day, 50%, 1 for 2, had a long of 45. Was 2 for 2 on the extra points, though. He is perfect throughout the what's it called? He's perfect throughout the postseason in real life. And without that touchdown that the Bengals got late, the Rams would have outscored the Bengals in every single quarter, except now for quarter number 3, where they only scored 14 points. 17-24, 14-17, and it started out bad for the Bengals after that fumble, and it just got worse. It was, 41-7.5 or something ridiculous. So there you go. That'll do it for the Super Bowl prediction. You could watch the Super Bowl later today, maybe, or not. I don't know what you're doing. I will be watching it. Hopefully it's a better game than this one. I would assume that it would be, because I don't think it'll be quite that lopsided. And I'm sure that Cincinnati will try to do things differently defensively to try and slow them down. Both the games we saw with the Bengals, the opposing quarterback just never got pressured. The Bengals were not able to get pressure with 4. They didn't really blitz a whole lot. The Rams defensive line did a tremendous job. They scored 14 points themselves, which was almost as much as the Bengals scored all by themselves offensively. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I did a Madden prediction a couple of years ago. That was when it was Kansas City versus San Francisco. So you can go back and watch that. I'm not even in it. It's a frog in a chair. So there you go. What does that mean? Go stick around. Go tune in to find out. And don't forget, again, just as a reminder, if you're still with me, hey, thanks for sticking around with me. Go ahead and put the word water in the comments below so I know you watched all the way to the end. You don't get anything for it, but at least you suffered through this terrible game with me. Next week, Bills, Rams. We're going to do the What If Super Bowl. Hopefully it's a more interesting game than this one. So tune in for that. We got Life is Strange going up tomorrow. Tuesday, more NFL action, NFL Fever 2002. Wednesday, Bus Simulator. Thursday, I believe it's going to be Sea of Thieves. Friday, ? Saturday, a new episode of Taste Test. And then Sunday, that matchup that I just talked about. So you got a good amount of sports. You got NBA on every one of those days at 4 p.m. All those other videos that I listed post at 6 a.m. Thanks for watching. We'll see you when we see you. Goodbye.